FBI agents spoke to Stephen Paddock's girlfriend for hours looking for clues. In a public statement yesterday, Marilou Danley called Paddock a kind, caring, quiet man, and she said she was never aware of any sign that he was planning this massacre. Jeff Pegues is in Washington with new details from Danley's story. Jeff, good morning.
Good morning. Danley's description of the killer contradicts what investigators are seeing so far. Someone who was meticulously planning, building an arsenal, and then putting his deadly plan into action. Still, in her 4-hour interview with investigators, Danley denied that she knew what he was up to.
I loved him and hoped for a quiet future together with him.
After arriving in the U.S. and speaking through her attorney, Danley says it was Paddock who wanted her to go to the Philippines.
I was worried that first, the unexpected trip home, and then the money was a way of breaking up with me. It never occurred to me in any way whatsoever that he was planning violence.
Authorities believe Paddock may not have been planning alone based on the amount of weapons and ammunition found at the crime scene and in searches of his properties.
You got to make the assumption he had to have some help at some point.
Investigators are looking for anyone who can provide the answers.
There's people that could help us understand this individual.
She is the key.
Former FBI profiler Mary Ellen O'Toole says even the smallest details could help investigators learn more about Paddock.
What kinds of things did he find that irritated him? What were his personal habits? What were his spending habits?
Another important aspect of the investigation to determine whether his mental health played a role and specifically whether he fit the clinical description of a psychopath.
Someone who has no guilt for what they do, somebody who can be very controlling and dominating. And I'd walk her through these personality traits to see if those sound at all familiar to the man that she knew.
In 1969, Paddock's father was on the FBI's most wanted list for bank robbery, and at the time he was called a psychopath. Danley, who is not under arrest, remains a key figure in the case, and investigators want to question her again. Norah.
All right, Jeff, thanks so much for your reporting.